Good morning, YouTube. Good morning. This is your home girl, Arabia Barbosa 914, which is the county, New York. For right now, we're in the house. Well, today is Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. I hope everyone had an awesome weekend. I want to thank all my subscribers, my new subscribers, my YouTube creators. Shout out to everyone. I hope everyone has an awesome work week this week coming up. Today is Monday. I already know what's going to happen for today, so I'm not going to even bother getting up and participating in anything today. I'll probably just make some phone calls and that's it. And I know that there is one of my YouTube creators live right now, and I want to give a shout out to her because I heard a little bit what she was talking about. And I said, well, I was scheduled to go live in a few, so I'm going to go live. And I hope she has an awesome day, a wonderful day. She's a wonderful young lady up here on these YouTube streets. A lot of you know her. Her name is Selena. Selena. Shout out to Selena for going live this morning. And I heard what she was talking about, and I agree with her on certain points. You know what I mean? And like yesterday, I was listening to some videos on YouTube, and there was one in particular that I participated in a little deeper, a little bit further than the other ones. And I was listening as to the person was talking to me, which was Lonnie. Shout out to her. And I heard what she said. And she said, Arabia, I'm retiring from, such and such and such. And I said, okay, that's cool. And then I had to think about it. I said, you know what? She's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I salute her and I take my hat off to her for at least having the courage to say what she was saying yesterday. And I was listening and we was talking and we was having a good time. It was like old times. It was just like old times. It was like talking to an old friend, you know what I mean? Even though we had our problems in the past. Shout out to her. And I remembered what I was saying, what I was talking about on Friday about how some people don't want you to move on. Some people don't want you to improve or to become better. Or they don't want you going on another level. And that's true because, sometimes when you do want to move on from certain things, the people that have been riding with you for a little while or in a certain time in your life, when you decide that, look, I don't want to hang out in the streets, I don't want to have open container, I don't want to be hanging out and mixing up all day, those people that you used to hang with or used to associate with and on that level feel abandoned. And sometimes they'll show their hurt right then and right there. Sometimes they don't. But the title of this video is written in Spanish. It says, No más tonteria. No más tonteria. No más means no more. Tonteria means foolishness. No more foolishness. No más tonteria. No más tonteria. No more foolishness. And basically, we're all on this app for different reasons. We're all up here talking in a certain vein. Some of us enjoy what we're doing. Some of us may not enjoy what we're doing. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy speaking my mind, putting my ideas out there, and telling people how I feel. You know what I mean? You could do the same thing in the real world, but it takes a different turn, especially when you're dealing with someone that you might have had deep feelings for a long time ago. And you be like, I don't feel that way about that person no more. But deep down inside, you probably still feel a little something for them. You might, especially if you spent years and years with that person. But a lot of times people get tired of being in the same box. They want to move on, and they have the right to do that. They have the right, and they have the right to do what they want to do. They have the right to make certain decisions that they want to make. And it's all understandable, especially being on this YouTube app, especially being in this sector. People wanted to call this the bus life sector. I'm going to say it one more time. This is not the bus life sector. This sector belongs to Tommy Sotomayor and those that are part of Soto Nation. This is our sector. We built this sector before Hassan Campbell or anybody came in this sector. We was here first. We was here. We built this shit. Brick by brick. Everyone else came later. Some of you were there when Tommy was doing his videos on YouTube. Some of you was subscribed to Tommy. You listened to Tommy. Maybe in my case, I listened to him daily for a couple of years. And then as time waned on, I said, okay, There's certain things I just didn't agree with him on. Certain points he did have, and other points I did not agree on. But then I had to come back to my senses the other day when I saw him on a panel with other women. And don't you know that there's a lot of black women in this country that feels like the way Tommy feels, and they say it now? These women are coming out of the shadows, out of the darkness, out of their homes, out of their jobs, and they are now expressing themselves because Tommy Sotomayor came. And a few others came. Cynthia G, Tanya TKL. It was a few that came back in the days when I first started coming to YouTube, back when I first started listening to everyone. Shout out to the chat. But it's a reality. It's something that happened on these YouTube streets. And these YouTube streets can either be a learning tool, a place of education, a learning tool for some, and for some others, it becomes a battlefield. It becomes an object of concern when you start combining two worlds together, the outside world and the YouTube world. And sometimes when you think about certain things that happen in this sector and happens on this app, it's like being in the matrix. We are in the in-between. We don't know each other, but we know how each other sound like. We know each other's talking points. We're like ghosts in one room together. We're all in one room together, but we don't necessarily acknowledge each other as maybe we should because we don't know each other personally. But I take my hat off to anyone that wants to fall back from beefing and arguing with people. And it makes perfect sense to me. That makes perfect sense to me. I understand. Trust and believe. And when I wrote the title to this video, No Mas Tonteria, I said, let me say it in Spanish. Let me say that shit in Spanish. You know, I was in someone's chat the other day and someone asked me in Saudi Arabia, how are you? And I said, and I didn't say it in English, I said it in Swahili. I said, Nico Fiti. Nico Fiti. That means I am fine. All is well with me. You know, I'm breaking it down for you. And I'm saying it in Swahili. Now, if I was to say it in Spanish, I would say, bien. Estoy bien. Estoy bueno. I'm fine. I'm good. You know. And I use this phrase all the time. And I didn't realize I was using it a lot. The phrase that I use all the time, like when I'm doing certain videos or when I'm talking about something, I'll say, it is what it is. It is what it is. That means that I'm trying to protect my peace. That means that whatever's going on, it's not going to affect me. I've lived long enough. Goddamn, I've lived 51 years. 51 years. Certain things should not affect me. Certain things should not bother me or concern me or worry me. But that certain situation about that young woman kept coming up. That young lady that got killed by that police officer. We all saw the video. We all heard and saw what happened to that woman. And a lot of us became angry. And then after the anger, we started feeling the feelings of feeling powerless, feeling that there was nothing we could do, that we couldn't do anything about it. It's just like when my people got murdered years ago. I kept thinking to myself, there's nothing I can do about it. But when I had the opportunity and the chance to get my fucking revenge, I left New York. I left New York. I moved to Newport News, Virginia. I lived with my family that was down there. Every time we was called to go to fucking court, we went. Every time we had to meet with the district attorney, we did that. We did not meet. We did not miss not one appointment. And when it was time for us to vote whether we wanted John Moses Reagan to get the death penalty, every last one of us said yes, death. I wanted to see this dude die. I wanted to be there whenever they killed him or whenever, however, because I thought to myself, with the shit that he did to my people, that was fucked up. He stabbed Sergeant Crystal Reagan to death. When they found her, she was laying in her bed, almost fucking decapitated. That's certain things that the news people didn't let y'all know. The newspapers didn't tell you. I got first-hand information. When they found my niece Sierra, she was burned beyond recognition, curled up in a fetal position. My little nephew Rashid, only 6 years old, when they found him and they did, you know how they do the autopsy? They found his little body was stabbed over 27 times. What could a 6-year-old child have done to a grown man for that grown man to kill him like that. That's why I want to see people that abuse children and kill children and sexually abuse children. That's why I want to see them be put to death. That's why I want them to be, all of them, to be publicly executed. That's why. As long as I live, I'm going to feel that fucking way. A shout out to the chat. When I say I want to see certain things happen to certain offenders, that's the God honest truth. Because I'm tired of this country coddling those fucking offenders. When I was in New York, and this happened a long time ago, people would be on their computers looking up who all the sex offenders were. And don't you know they made it a point to try to drive those people out of the neighborhoods they were living in? And some of them were very successful at intimidating those young men, those older dudes. People made their lives a living fucking hell. Trust me. Trust me. They went on the internet, got the information, printed out all these people's faces, their crimes, who they committed against, who they had raped, who they had sexually abused, what age the victim was. Oh yes, all that information was posted everywhere. Those people were not safe. I understand why certain people on this app would want to hide their offenses. I can see why they would want to. When I was in prison, there were some females there that were there for killing their children. The women that lived on the same buildings that they lived on, they made those women's lives a living fucking hell. Those women never was able to rest in peace. They was never able to have a moment of peace. Not one moment of enjoyment. They couldn't smile. They couldn't laugh. They couldn't talk too loud. Eventually, those women started behaving as if they was a piece of furniture because they didn't want people to pinpoint them or to make them feel bad or to attack them. A lot of women got physically attacked. When Susan Smith came to the fucking penitentiary that year that she went, it was 5 different black women that attacked her on the compound. They had their orders on site. They locked Susan Smith up. They locked up those 5 black women. They allowed Susan Smith to be released onto the compound, and they charged those other 5 black women with assault and battery charges. And they made an example out of those 5. If you do something to Susan Smith, this is what's going to happen to you. And they had them on lockup for a long period of time. Shout out to the chat. A lot of you don't know that. There's certain things about prison I don't tell you about, but you get the gist of it. You get the feeling of it. You know, I was on these YouTube streets strolling, and I came across one particular video, and I saw the title of the video, and I said, what the fuck is going on? This title of this fucking video. But as I listened to what was going on, and then I saw that individual again doing another video, and they played a song, and that particular song, I always liked that song, Blowing in the Wind. I always liked that song. And I was like, yo, that song is so fucking deep. Certain songs that certain YouTube creators play on this app is so fucking deep. Like when you hear it like in real life, or you hear it on the radio or something like that, and you know certain YouTubers play certain songs, you get into that song. You get into that feeling. You get into that funk. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being human. There's nothing wrong with having feelings. There's nothing wrong with being hurt. There's nothing wrong with, I guess, being disappointed. It's part of being human. It's part of being an adult. And just knowing how to challenge those feelings or those situations tells what kind of maturity level you have. Shout out to the chat. But the title of this video is No Más Tonteria. And No Más Tonteria means no more foolishness. In other words, I know I participated in certain things on this app, in this sector. And basically, you don't feel like beefing or arguing with certain people. But when you see certain things, now, if you see something and you don't agree with it, if you see something, say something. And there's just certain things I just won't agree with. I may not like that person neither, but I'm not gonna be up there, oh yeah, y'all need to go up there and start ganging up on that person and all this and that, because it won't make any sense. Why am I gonna watch somebody that I truly hate, or I can't stand, or I'm not getting along with? The only reason I would watch that person is to try to use their content to go up against them. And that's what a lot of people do. We got a lot of reactionary YouTube creators. They're not even creators. I'm going to say YouTube fakers, YouTube pretenders. Because you can't even create your own shit. They would rather use someone else's video or someone else's material to try to downplay that person. A lot of people do it on this app. A lot of people. Some people, when they don't do it, their videos come out much better. People enjoy it much better. People can rock out a little bit better. Just like the other day, we was in Brown Skin Lady's chat, and Angelo, I guess he was celebrating his birthday. So what did Brown Skin Lady do? Brown Skin Lady started playing a song pertaining to, birthdays. Everyone in the chat was having a good time. Everyone started dancing. It's just like sometimes when I go over there to Sister T chat, and she might be playing certain music, and everyone will start dancing. You know what I mean? Just certain YouTube creators are very creative. They're very entertaining. You can get into what they're talking about. If I read the title and I don't understand what's going on, I'm not gonna go over there. Or if I do show up, I'll pop in, I'll type in the chat, or I just came over to support. And I'm gone. I already hit the like button. I might have shared the video, and I'm gone. Sometimes I'll share the video. Sometimes I won't. But as long as you support whoever you're supporting them. I don't care if it's a Cash App. I don't care if it's hitting the like button. I don't care if it's hitting that share button. You are showing your support and your love for that person. You support them, you're going to watch them. You like them, you're going to watch them. And that's reality. Well, we watched that video on Ears to the Street channel. Shout out to Ears to the Street for doing that video. Shout out to 27 Darren for doing that video. Shout out to Sister T for doing the video because they talked about that young lady that was killed by that officer. But when Ears showed the video, like the visual of what happened to that woman, it reminded me of what happened to Sandra Bland. But Sandra Bland was not murdered on camera. They didn't catch her murder on video. They caught this other woman's murder on video. But I still had the same feeling. Anger and then feeling helpless. And that's why I wrote the title like the way I wrote it. No más tonteria. No más tonteria. And then when someone asks me how I'm feeling, I'm like, Nico Fiti. Nico Fiti. And I'm not saying it in Spanish. I'm not saying it in English. Nico Fiti is a Swahili phrase for I am good. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So I hope everyone has an awesome work week this week. And I hope we all can agree to disagree and support who we want to support and visit who we want to visit on this app, in this sector. How long do we have with each other? I mean, really? Really? How long do we have with each other? Especially those that have some kind of relationship going on with each other. And I'm not talking about nothing sexual. I'm talking about just on the point, just respecting the person for being who they are and liking them for who they are, regardless of their faults, regardless of their mistakes. See, I'm not really here to look at people's mistakes so much. I'm just here to watch, observe, and learn. That's it. That's all. Anything else is foolishness. No más tonteria. Because I've said it enough. Que diablo pensado contigo aquí. Que diablo pensado contigo aquí. I'm asking you what's happening here with you, and I'm saying it in Spanish. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. I hope everyone has an awesome day. Those that are not here, please catch the playback, like and share the video. And I truly enjoy everyone's support. Those that truly support this channel. And it is what it is. Y'all have a good one. Peace.